Is this happening? Is this happening? Oh man, I think it's happening. I I think we're seeing the productions of our labors. It's coming together. You're seeing everything correlate, conjugate, and get into the middle somehow. The productions of together. We're making this happen. I think here soon, real fast. I'm not too sure, but you know what? It might just be that here we are at last. You know, just gonna say it. Welcome to the show, everybody. Alright, this is 3D Changes Perspectives, and that's exactly what I'm hoping to do for you today, is change perspective on something that most people probably didn't think they could change their perspective on. So, um, everyone has a computer, or a phone, or a device they're using to access the internet. They're using it to access tons of things, and a lot of times sensitive data. So, we've been talking about sovereignty, and you can pretty much get the point. We're talking about making your device stronger, and we're going to do this through the operating system. Now, throughout this is going to give us some like tips and tricks throughout the main hardware and stuff. But for the most part, we're going to make our operating system stronger. And what we're going to actually change our perspective on is that the operating system works fine the way it comes. Because it don't work fine the way it comes, or at least not for you. And that's my point. We need to prove to you, show you, it's not fine for most people. They're just, it's just not as good as it could be or should be, especially if you're dealing with sensitive data. Now, to get started, I want to thank today's sponsor, roundlyx.com. That's right, if you go over to roundlyx.com and sign up, use Change Perspectives in your sign up code and get the free $15 in Bitcoin. But what they're going to help you do is actually DCA into cryptocurrency. That's right, you're going to be able to round up your credit card purchases or your card purchases for cryptocurrency. And they have a feature on there I like called Ideal Bumps, and it kind of gives you an update of what's going on. It's one of the features I really like about it. And I just kind of like DC into things maybe I'm not sure about, I want to test out, or, I really just want to get into, like Bitcoin. And these people help you do it right here at roundlyx.com. Thank you for helping sponsor us and making this happen. Now let's go ahead and get today going with today's intro. Oh man, I really want to say again, thank you roundlyx.com for sponsoring us, helping us get these videos and everything set up. It is an awesome sauce thing to get, and you know what they say, if you're not DCA in, then are you really in here? Come on, let's get this going. Alright, I think I got the chat going. Thank you again, Randall. I'm going to drop that down because we want to make your operating system stronger, better, and I want to show you why. I don't want to just, okay, so like that's the point here, right? We got to show you why. There's a reason for everything. Like, absolutely, alright. So, I'm trying to get to the little, there we go. So, as I was saying earlier, like, how can we process, handle, and do digitally without a hardened operating system? Just like everyone else with their risk of at any time losing control. Yes, it's your system's usability can be turned off with a firmware or security update. I'm going to say that again. Your system's usability can be turned off with a firmware or security update. So why allow sensitive data devices to have this flaw? Why, in short, should you not have for your devices that regardless of sensitivity? Why should you not have security or whatever for your devices regardless of data sensitivity? So even if it's something that isn't sensitive, why not have this anyways? Today we're going to go over the basics for hardening your Windows operating system. This will be from like a very generic perspective, but also it's going to separate some of the Microsoft control from your operating system. And then before we go any further, if you haven't like watched my last episode where I go over like the introduction to digital sovereignty, You really need to, and there's actually more than one of these. So where we just specifically talking about digital sovereignty of some kind or crypto sovereignty or sovereignty of some kind, and more to come. This seems to be like a little mini series that just popped in. Cool, right? So this is what you're seeing here. This is the episode. It is like the alternative to actually hardening an operating system. You don't want to harden the operating system. You can just simply use Tails OS, and this link should be. It might not be. Let's see. Share. We want it right at this point. So let's generate a QR code. Can you guys see that? So this QR code should take you directly to the spot where it's actually talking about Tails OS and all that. So this should get you directly there. This is the spot. Boom. Alright, so we're gonna keep moving. We got this for you. You can use this link. This will get you to the, any way you do this is gonna get you to the GitHub. So let's just give you that. That's gonna take you to the GitHub right there, where this is located, and this is just basically the steps it's actually take to create a sovereign device. These are like sovereignty pills, and they can be hard to swallow at times. But the lovely team of Bitcoin Live Decentralized Broadcasting Network has requested this among other people. I've actually had friends request this for quite some time, where they wanted to know simply how can they make the operating system they prefer to use. It's actually in my work computer. It's a Windows. I have to admit it. So some of us are forced to use it. So how to make it stronger? This is the way. This is insane, simple steps. I took all the things and I try to make it as simple as possible. So you just go from top to bottom, and you can do the left and right, and it's kind of like pretty much they're basically the same thing, but just a bit different on each side. And if we just kind of go through it, it's like clean install. We just simply want a clean install of the operating system. So we're talking about a factory reset to an offline or local account. This will be a major hurdle for most people. And if you really want to know, we can increase the talk at any time. We can make this a little bit more, or we can make this like really direct, but you might need to know what's going on. But whatever your talk level is, we got you today. So this is going to be your major hurdle, not a problem. The next step is simply handling your own data. And so as we see, this can be use your physical storage first. Just have a hard drive. And then if you have no default automation, just basically don't let your computer do things for you. Turn off most of your automations and dynamic options. Just turn them off. Alright, and right there, boom, that whole pill, there you go. You're done. And as we go down, we'll have more to do. But that right there, and if you just keep stuff near new, you'll know not to use the hard drive that came with your computer. So this is one that a lot of people are going to want to come back to, probably just mess around with. And a great way to just refer over and over and over. So I wanted to give you guys. I did this a couple times before, and I got feedback. A couple people saying this made it easier for them to search next time. So here's my search result. This is what I searched for. This is what I believe most people would search in this situation. Now, on a fresh install, they would just install. They would put install the operating system, and then without internet or a account. And here I put Microsoft since it's Windows. If it was Mac, I would have put Macintosh. So you're gonna see I've clicked on a lot of these. I've clicked on to make sure they were what they were, and a few of these were legit, as in like actual information, but they all pretty much refer to the same few steps. And finding just those few steps was way more difficult than than you should have been. But you know, we eventually came across it. So I wanted to find you guys the easiest ways to do the first things. I mean, everything on that list we're gonna get through in about the next 3 episodes. So everything on this we'll get through in about 3 episodes. So the first few things was clean install, use our own physical storage, turn off automation, and keep the device near new. Don't use the device, use the device as a shell. So, use an external hard drive. Um, I don't say use external RAM, that'd be a bit strange. Flush RAM every day and stuff like that. Like, have routines for yourself to do things. Here are some search results that sort. But here we go. So, how to set up Windows 11 without a Microsoft account. Most of you are going to be using Windows 11. Don't worry, we got Windows 10 in here too. So, most of your Windows, they will automatically be able to do just be offline, and they'll do that. But Windows 10 and Windows 11 is a bit different. Here, we're basically trying to set up out-of-box scenario. Where is it actually called? Yeah, out-of-box experience is what it's actually called. That's what we want. We want an out-of-box experience. A lot of times, this is reserved for businesses and stuff like that. And we're going to take it upon ourselves to basically say, you know what, we're performing some form of business action or potential business action. Therefore, we need to take this in a business route. The thought process here is, this is for businesses. We might be dealing with our own personal business of ourselves. Therefore, ergo business. I know it's not right, but that's if you need to have a reason to do this where you don't feel so bad. There you go. All this allows you to do is use the bare minimum. So there's a lot of features you won't have, and features that you won't probably never notice, like ads, because you'll be offline for the most part. Now, once you go online and stuff, a lot of those features will just activate on their own. You have to learn to go turn them off, and you're going to be noticing this will delete everything, and it is going to give you all the instructions, and it's simple. The parts that are going to be confusing is like be offline. Okay, that's very confusing. Click, you want a full custom install. You have to delete all the additional partitions, start a new one, set up your origins, blah blah blah, name things, be offline, say this is personal. It's the only option. Alright, so now we're actually into the problems. Solution 1, disable internet requirements. So on the sign in page, so when you're trying to sign in, you just basically hit Shift F10, and it brings up this, well, it's a terminal shell. It brings up this little thingy. So we can send that in. Yeah. Brings this up right here. Boom. And you're just going to type that in. You see how it's going to say C, Windows, System, blah, blah, blah. And the only thing they typed in is this right here, OOBE/bypass NRO. And all that basically says is I want an out-of-box experience. Bypass. NRO is a bit strange. It's probably supposed to just be like non-regulated on sign-on. And they probably went with O instead of S because NRS is non-regulated server or non-regulated space or something like that. It's completely different thing. So, and it just basically gives you an non-regulated option. Boom, non-regulated option most likely. So it basically, it's just gonna give you a way to go in where they're not watching you every second. And then after here, you can you'll be able to, it'll boot up again. Okay, why? Hello. Sorry, my computer's acting like I couldn't move. It will go really slow just because I zoomed in. So you see, quick note, if you set up on Windows 11 Home, it maybe ask you to do something else, and you might have to actually say, continue with limited setup options for now. And that's the part that I'm talking about where there are some things that you just can't do, like you're not going to use Siri or these other things, because they're like, bro, that takes internet. But you can always fake that later. So confirm the name in the local account. Then after that, it's like setting up a regular account. Ooh la la. There's, I think at this point, I don't think there's anything. Yeah. When you get to an actual Microsoft account, you have to do it again where you're saying disable internet requirements. Um, Confirm your local account in the sign-in settings. So there was another trick to this. That's what I wanted to point out here. Is another workaround a lot of people found out for when it came in for the Windows 11. Well, did that pop up the one I was just looking at? Nice. I just saw that. I was going to click on it. And the other workaround is just simply typing in user for your account and password. It will work on many of them. I believe it even like Windows ME would do that too, I think. And I say it that way, like there was a like a display model that a lot of ones that you would buy from big box stores had, and there was a way to pop that open automatically. Like that was user, or it was admin, or something like that. So there is simple workarounds for a lot of this, and that's very useful for you to know, right? Because, well, if you're on Windows 10, you're probably wondering, can we do the same thing? Yeah, you should be able to do basically almost exactly the same steps. It's just when you don't have a product key. Now this is a reinstall date. If it's an original install, you have to put in a product key. So don't let that fool you. And then again, custom, delete the spaces, start a new one, go in, make sure you're offline. You have to set up yourself as a self-organization. For a lot of them, they're going to be set up like that. And it will automatically connect you to Ethernet. If you have a wireless connection, you might need a security key to continue. Home Edition does not have this option in case you continue, blah, blah, blah. So again, Home option doesn't have this, but if you do see that, go there, pick yourself as a business, or an organization. Create your user and password. I believe I would not put user and user in there. I'd be afraid to. That ended up being your thing, but you can always change it later. You know what it is. Then turn off all your privacy settings. All these are turned on for some reason. Turn them all off. Hit customize. Click what you want to accept. I don't know. Yeah. Click what you want to accept and then go on. So as you can see, it's damn near the same process. I want to say use user will work here, but I don't know for sure. It just feels weird that it doesn't say anything for that. It just basically says get it offline. Make sure you're offline. It just basically says the exact same steps. So once you get the computer running, you have to turn off automation. This is the whole point. Like once you get a modern operating system, whether it's your cell phone, Mac, Windows, even some Linuxes, they have automations, and we keep coming across problems like, hey, I don't know if this is from an updates, but this week it seems to be I've been spending time to keep my Windows experience usable. Currently, suddenly I can't disable my trackpad while I'm using my mouse. Earlier I changed the search bar while open from Internet Explorer to Bing, to Chrome, and now Google, and they say I want, and now it's Google, and they say I want it, since Microsoft had found a way to make it their way. And they're just basically complaining about not being able to keep the computer updates. They say I want my settings like this, and something changes. Hi, Windows 10 periodically checks for updates, so you might have to do anything. The latest Windows 10 updates. When you have your update available, it's automatically downloaded. So you can tell this is a roll. I can tell this is bullshit. And if you go down, you see the very next person was to say, hi, sync your settings, enabled. Your settings enabled? Did they set up? What's wrong? Microsoft will be here to help you. No, they're not going to be there to help you, bro. So then you see, hey, bro, like, I have a similar problem. The problem is that Windows constantly changes my language settings, and it occasionally changes my time and date and power settings. This is very annoying. I don't believe turning off automatic updates will stop it. This should not happen. My settings are my settings. I don't like when Windows high hardened changes my settings. I'm becoming more and more dissatisfied with Microsoft and Windows and their directory attitude to our users. As much as I'd like to already change to Linux, he can't. This person's like, I agree, and that other person before you never answered the guy's question. Yes, the first two answers, the ones that had the most blah blah blah, well, actually the least blah blah blah. Now, first ones that pop up didn't actually do anything, and it comes down to more and more people are noticing the exact same problem or series of problems. Like with me personally, it keeps changing my fan power option, which changes my volume level for some reason, which changes like this how dark or bright my screen is, and I'll go from game to non-game, and it will change on the fly. And I'll go from some applications to non-applications, and it will change on the fly. But sure enough, there's a Chad in the comments. As they say, Chad in the comment says, it seems to be staff does not want to give answers asked in detail. Well, here's how to prevent things. Go to Start, Control Panel, System and Maintenance, Administrative Tools, Task, Scheduler. Now you can see all the scheduled tasks. Now I actually went here. This, for my problem, this was not it. And for their problem, this was not it. But this was really freaking useful. So go to Start, Control Panel, System and Maintenance, Administrative Tools. They said Start. Windows Administrative Tools. Oh, click Control Panel. Okay. It's nothing. Okay, so we get this style. And inside here, you have Administrative Tools. And inside here, you have a folder. Inside the system, so we can see it's just the main C, main Windows, control panel, system security, administrative tools. Here they all are. And so now we have all these extra services. Hooray! Yeah, basically these are like original services. A lot of these can actually be found already in Windows. Most of yours is going to be under a certain thing. I have mine moved. So a lot of them are right here. But you'll notice there's a bunch not in here. And if we go here, there are some more. Like task schedulers right here. So they give you the tools the whole time to do all this. It's time to learn how to use them. It's time to learn how to use them. Also, turn off automatic app updates and scheduled start. For our problem here, check Update Orchestrator and deactivate the reboot function. But that still wasn't the way. So I kept looking into this issue because I see more and more people having this problem, and what this person was suggesting, using these tools, these administrative tools, none of them were working. They would still change on them, sometimes with and without updates. And I found this. This was more to what I was having problems with, but it points out the problem and the main reason why we have to do this. This is the main reason why a large portion of Windows users has problems with their Windows computer, according to Windows Forum. Windows changes things on them, but it's not actually just Windows. It's Windows and their computer. I'm a tough user. It's a Kaya computer. I have a laptop on balanced power plan, unless I'm playing a game. However, every time I plug or unplug, wake up my laptop, it seems to change on its own. And it changed to performance. And in order to switch to back to balance, I had to go in and do all this crap. So, so the way is to do having Windows is the way to get this to stop end up being you have to go in and change your default plan in Armory Crate. So you have to change your, and this ends up being a BIOS setting. Um, and this one they have an app that allows you to expand what your BIOS settings can do. And there's something in there about like BIOS can handle certain game functions. So because it's got a GPU, they can handle certain game functions. So in this app, they have these game functions, and they would basically have to go in there and set up a power plan for each one of the things that it would call a game, and it has to correspond to a power plan on Windows in order for the two to work together. So what it is the computer, the physical computer is saying, I need to do blank, and then Windows is trying to correct. And this causes this flip-floppity, back forth, can't ever have something that seems to work. And again, another chat in the comments suggests something very simple. All I did was go in and turn it off. They went into their BIOS. There's another app, Intel Graphics Command Center for them, and they just turned off dynamic refreshing, turned off dynamic all this other stuff. They just turned off the dynamic options, which we're going to go back to it, is all it is. Turn off the dynamic. It might be in your BIOS. It's going to be in the apps that come in the bloatware on your computer. You're going to have to go through them. You have to turn all these things off. You're going to have to go through your settings. You're going to have to not just ignore everything on your computer. You're going to have to click on every freaking app and go through its settings and do it. It takes me about 2 weeks for a new device to go through it and then be able to use it. When I get a device, I generally have 2 weeks before I can even start using that device. And when I buy devices, I plan on it. I have it set up to where I know when I get something, I got 2 weeks before I can even use it. And it still won't be ready by then. I might still end up another week or so fiddling with it, trying to get it to work right. Because there's a bunch of little things like this you just don't know that you might have to research. And that's a big point of this whole thing, is you're going to have to research. Research is, unfortunately, something we don't always want to do. I get it. It sucks. But we have to do it. We can't just ignore it. And I don't think I was giving you guys the links. Let me go back and give you guys these links, because these are, you come in here and you, simple little things. Simple little things. So here we are. We're here. We're in Windows Central now. How to stop automatic updates on Windows 10. This is going to be 99% of your problem right here. Every time there's a Windows update, there's 1,000 problems that goes wrong. So every time your computer updates on any device you're using, including your cell phone, you need to wipe out all of your temporary files. You need to clean your computer. So you don't want to just update willy-nilly every other day or something. You want to perform all your updates once per whatever, month, 3 months, 6 months, whatever your risk allows you to do. I have computers where I can update it once every 10 years. It don't matter. And then I have computers that I'm updating once every month. Or once every, I got one I'll update once every 2 weeks. So what it needs, what your need is for that device. If I have a device that don't have no security or nothing on it, I'm just using it to play videos, I don't want to update it. I want it to where it works out of box and never changes. Because it works. Once it doesn't work, then I put something new, update on it. Then I have to do the same thing. You have to flush all your temporary files and stuff. That's going to cause problems. Your temporary files can still act as real files. And this is what this big thing here is. You're going to find out when you turn off up your Windows update, you're going to find out a lot of things just work better. And then when you update and then flush all the bad and old files, it works better. It runs smoother. It feels like your computer again. 4 easy ways to turn these. I'm not going to go through all these steps. You guys can be able to figure some of the stuff out. I got you guys the easiest freaking ways. 4 steps, 5 steps, 3 steps, 2 steps. Actually, I know it's 4 and 5 steps so far. You guys got this. You're going to have to do it a bunch, but you got this. The only other thing you need to worry about is stuff like verifying a security update before you install it. Okay, this sounds scary. I've got you a search Ready for you, bro. Ready for you. Verifying security updates Windows 11. If you need a Windows 10, there you go. So you guys know that all this information still works, because next week we'll be getting into it. We got you. We got you. So, what are these security update things? How to actually check these things? And so you can actually check to see what's installed. You can do all this stuff. You can check and you can see what's installed. Now, for Windows 10, there are patches, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. Some of these are Windows builds, blah blah blah. To know what version Windows is using, though, you got to go to Start Menu, Settings, System, About, Version. The 2 digits of the version number are the year in release. The last 2 digits are the month. If your Windows 10 version number is like 1607, you're released in 2016 July. You can also need to do an update to like Creators Update to get this patch automatically. Here's the download link. And if in doubt, download blah 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 patches. Problem is, checking for specific KB in this case, knowledge base, which is your update systems, is actually bad because updates can get replaced with newer ones. So you need to go to Disk Cleaner and delete such old and replace suspended Windows updates. Yes, you can have Windows updates that have been suspended and your Windows computer won't remove them. Suspended means there's a reason why they don't want it on your computer. It's bad. But they don't get rid of it. So it's up to you to go do it after every single update. Make sure you have the latest update roll-up installed, so that way you can actually make sure you get a backup of all your updates before you update. Alright? Get a backup of your computer, and then update, and then get a secondary backup of your updates as of right now, and then wipe clean your computer, set up the update roll-up with the one you just did. Well, not the one you did, the one before that. So if you need rollback, you can roll back before you updated anything. And you have a copy of the one you did. So if you do another update and something changes, you'll be able to compare. And yeah, it's a little bit more work, but it's not hard. And if you're doing this and you set up a time and date, so you're doing it like once a month or something, you're doing it on your own, you're routinely doing it, it becomes like a thing. You just like, maybe you're having, like I do it with coffee. I'll be having my coffee, I'll be getting my updates, I'll go smoke, come back, set up, do the next set, go, like I make it a thing. And that's just something that people used to do. When we didn't have all this screens in front of us, we used to need time to waste. And this was something that people used to do, like spring cleaning, but computer cleaning. And don't worry. See, something that we always forget is there are reasons for not updating a system. Most updates are around internet and attack methods, normally internet required things, or physically required. And so for many devices, their browsers will handle a majority of their virus detection. And so there are many Windows computers in the future designed around browser security, and also with new antivirus technology, some of which will stop, by the way, once you have a local account, because some of that's just simply watching your screen all the time. But there's also FOSS, free and open source software, for almost everything nowadays. And let's get to the grift of it, the legit of it. Some Windows computers just won't get updates. From now on, especially free ones, you just won't get them. Sorry. Windows 11 just came out. Oh well. Windows 10, though, will continue to be supported until 2025 now. It's been moved up. It'll get moved up again. They did the same thing for Windows 7, remember? Windows 11, people don't like it, just like when people don't like Windows Vista, and every time they try to do one of these ad-ridden windows, people don't like it, they don't move to it, and they end up upping how long they will keep, the old one, and then eventually they'll push a whole different one to replace it completely. Give it time. So, back to the tests. You're going to want to know how to do this. Windows updates. How can you test them? Well, go here. Step-by-step instructions for testing your Windows updates. Making sure that you got a correct one installed. And it's not very long. It's not very hard. It's actually really easy. So you can download an update and ensure you have the right update. Cool. You can even run it through some testing. Cool. Neato. Did you know there's a Windows Security Update Validation program? Now you do. Maybe get involved. Maybe talk to some people on about it. You can't see it because I'm in your way. Maybe find someone there who can help you, I don't know, verify some security updates if you were really that scared. Here's one right here. Here's a knowledge base 5013944. This is a kernel base update 5013944. And as we go down, this was released April 25th, 2022. We can see we down here. So right here. And this is not that complicated. It's a Windows 10 servicing stack update. So something about a stack. So the Windows makes quality improvements for servicing stack, which is the component that installs Windows updates. Servicing stack updates, SSU, ensures that you have a robust, reliable servicing stack. So this is an update that if you're not updating all the time, you could wait on this until you need an update. Known issues with this update. None. So they can even sometimes tell you if there's issues. A lot of times they will only tell you if there's issues when they've been like, you can search for it by that time. But you can also look at, they got FAQs, they have, they got all the little links in here. Let me give you this little link right here. Let me give you dark scan. Because they got all the links for you right here. And this is it. We're done. That's the file. You can subscribe to get these all the time. There's more information, but for the most part, that's it. And you can see there's more updates on my left, so we can click on another update. We can view the next one, view the next one, on security. We can view which ones we want, which ones we don't want. Our operating system manufacturer produces these, and they're forced to let us know about them. So use it. They're forced to tell you this stuff. Use it. Even if you don't completely understand it, everything in here is searchable. You can search what everything means and learn it. If you're not too sure, go to school for it. I'm sure they got a free online course you can take to learn some of this stuff. Maybe some words and stuff. I don't know. Or you can just cheat. So, these sites we used to make fun of when I was younger, but I used them all the time. And everyone always made fun of them when we were younger. But they really do all sorts of little things. Some of the stuff you gotta be really careful, like superfetch and things like that. Sticky notes, it's not that bad. No. And I would say, you want slower boot times, you don't want fast boot, you want slow boot. But they're gonna, sites like this actually can get you through most of your problems. But I know, like I said, some people are gonna want to cheat. I got you. Sorry, I'm making my character freak out and it's not working. I got you. Here's a cheat sheet for Windows 10. It's a free PDF. Click the button. Boom, got it. You're good. Has about everything you need to know about Windows 10 that you can do available for you. Microsoft Windows Service as a Strategy. Windows as a Service Strategy. My bad. But don't worry. Windows 11. This one's a little bit more difficult. But there's still some assistance for you too. So we don't got you lost in the clouds. So Windows 11, so I wanted to point this out because I can't just show you everything at once. Gotta show it to you throughout. Windows 11 installs HP Smart App without your permission and renames your printers. Microsoft confirms. Your PC has access to Microsoft Store. You may have HP Smart App. Now, I actually had to delete this twice so far. I thought it was crazy. Happened after an update 2 different times. And they're renaming. Most are being named HP LaserJet M101 or to the one M106 model. So there's one of these. Even the printer icon might change. And then you'll get an error that says no tasks. So nothing you can do about it because you allow them to have, because you don't have a local account and you have automatic updates on. Yeah, to get stop this, you'd have to be on a local account and have automatic updates off, and then this would stop this from happening. Unless you have your computer online all the time and you have the Microsoft Windows app to download the Microsoft Store, like the store, Microsoft Store. So you can't have that either. So you kind of pretty much got to install everything by hand the old-fashioned way, which is just fine. Um, which, yeah, no automation. So using the Microsoft Store would be an automated way to install things. So we don't want to use that either. So you can add or remove accounts from your PC, regardless if it's Windows 10 or Windows 11. Here's how to do it. People are going to want to know how to do it. Here's how to do it. How to set up internet priority for your different Windows 11 programs. So basically, different programs you might want access to internet, and other ones you might not want. Remember we were saying earlier, if you had Windows, easy way to install apps, you might not, blah blah blah. Well, turn off its ability to get online. Control the apps that you want to control. It's going to be a little bit of fun to figure out for you, I guess, but if you want that, it's available. How to make old programs work on Windows 10? Yes. So for a lot of people, they're going to drop down to something like this, where it's simply, they don't need whatever. They maybe, I don't know. It's like maybe these older programs were designed without the internet in mind. So they're going to want to use them. And to do things like paint or 3D modeling or like CAD, I don't know. Those are the things I would use an offline program for. And I do. So you might want to use an older one simply because they're free, available, full access out of the box. Learn how to use it on your Windows 10. I couldn't find one for this for Windows 11. I'm pretty sure there is one. Just look it up. Find it, my friends. So, remember earlier we were saying you're going to have to download stuff the old-fashioned way? Well, there's multiple versions of the old-fashioned way. Like, yes, BitTorrent. So basically, if we go back, is it back here? Do not use accounts. Do not use programs with accounts. Keep near new. Obtain and store data directly. Side grab what you can. Consider BitTorrent downloading it direct from manufacturers. So downloading directly from the manufacturer or using programs and systems like BitTorrent, using a torrent system. So here is torrent. This is one of the most big ones, BitTorrent. Here's one that was real big when I was younger. Like when this one was originally real big on a cell phone, microtorrent. You need to know how to use BitTorrent. You use BitTorrent, and it's basically like everything else. All the torrents pretty much work the same. BitTorrent's the easiest, though. Let me show you how to do it. Here's Fit Girl repacks. This is where I get a lot of my repacks. So here's the game, and something you in case you're not noticing it. Fit Girl repacks, the only official site for it. Fit Girl repacks. Every single Fit Girl repack installer has a link inside which leads here. Do not fall for fake or scam sites which are using my name. So if you get one of these and it doesn't have the link to go to here, and if you go to there and this is not the same site you was at, then you go to the one in the link because you messed up, or you got a downloaded one that's trying to screw you over. But simply look, click on magnet. It's going to click on magnet. It says, do you want to open this up in BitTorrent? Yes, I do. I do want to open this up in BitTorrent. And it opens up BitTorrent. Look at that. And it says, do this. We can even, well, actually, we're going to check the hash. Okay, let's do it, though. And we're now connecting to peers. And if you look, I'm actually seeding Tells OS. Hey, look. I'm now downloading the game. Okay, but besides downloading a free game, or in this case, I won't actually be using it. I don't own this game. Probably shouldn't be doing that. But anyways, that was just for showing you how to actually open a BitTorrent. Um, because like actual programs, a lot of times distributors want to use BitTorrents to make it easier to distribute safely, and that's kind of the point of it. So now going back to the whole point of this, right? A lot of what you guys are going to need to be doing is going to be in your settings page, and you're looking at something that's pretty vulnerable, something that most people would never do. Please do not make fun of me. Okay, so 90% of what you're going to need to be doing is very simple. You're going to be going here into your settings, okay? You're going to be choosing cookies and other site data or site data. And you're going to block third parties in private mode. You're going to basically allow cookies though, right? Not all of them. You're not going to allow to be tracked, okay? You notice I have it set up where I don't clear the cookies when I quit Opera. They look for that. I just have it set up where we don't. When I close all the windows, we just don't keep any cookies. Yeah, I literally have it set up to where sites I don't want to know. I don't want to. I every time I go to that site, I just have to log. Like every time I open up the window, I log in. As long as it's open, I can keep going back, and I don't have to relog in. But once I close it all down, I have to relog in. Cool, not a problem. I'm gonna say again, cool, not a problem. I just add them into this list, and boom, I don't have to worry. Um, Site settings is the other spot, and you can see here we have stuff blocked. You can go through all of them. You can say what you want to allow, what you don't allow, and it's simply all you're gonna have to do. So you want it set up to where you allow the cookies to come through, you block third parties and block tracking, but you don't allow pretty much anything to keep cookies. Um, so again, you can come in here. One of the reasons why I bring this up, places like this right here, YouTube, where you might be watching this, they basically have stuff set up in here where they're like, hey, we're gonna put cookies on your computer, and that will allow us to know if you're using ad blocker because we'll be able to see if an ad popped up or not because of that cookie. Or we're gonna put cookies on there to represent if you did or did not see. So we might put a cookie on there that means nothing to you. It's a site you've been to within 30 days, so you won't care. Um, and you won't notice it. And then the next time you show up, we'll scan your cookies like we always do, and we'll see it on there, and we'll go, oh, that means that you've seen three without an ad. You've seen three things without an ad. Oh shit! Don't let them see nothing more. It's simply not allowing cookies is going to solve a ton of your problems that you're going to be having, and for most people, again, for most people, um, and again, we're going to have to show you all this for Mac users and Linux. And all the Linux will be a lot more simple. We've pretty much got your answer right above me, in case you forgot. It's right here. Boom. Roasted. But it's simply just the start, right? This is the start of things. The next one will go into more detail about other things while showing some of this. And there's, unfortunately, for you to have sovereignty, you gotta have a responsibility, which means you have to take time and due diligence as well as your due diligence to take care of your things. They are yours. Take care of them. Don't allow a company to take care of them, because if you do, that company will just claim ownership. Which is why a lot of people are now complaining about their devices, their computers, everything costs so much, does so very little, and they're always complaining about having to fight with it. If you're fighting with it, time to end that fight. Just win this time. Take it over and do your thing. Or, you know what? Go watch the video that's above me. Set up a Tails OS and just bypass your computer completely. Use the shell and never again use the computer. So if today showcases anything, I'm hoping that it showcases that, even an operating system that has a protocol to a script to check and see if the current user is allowed to access the start menu and the start bar items that can be turned off, mostly offline, with enough to begin the steps of taking back control over your digital sovereignty. Yeah, Windows actually, every time that you go use your stop bar on Windows 11, it actually sends a request. Is this person allowed to use this? And every time you use one of the items on there, it sends a request. Is this person allowed to use this? It's terrible, but you can take back sovereignty even on those devices. The operating system is even designed against us. The users, U-S-E-R-S. Us plus E-Rs equals users. And yeah, designed against us. Sometimes it feels like companies nowadays put their customers to the ER and stress alone. So use the information from today to practice some of the ideals shown. So I'm going to pull it right back up. Try some of these. Practice, educate, learn, read, do things. Because, it's not always going to be this easy. And for right now, it being this easy, you might want to learn it now. Because once you learn this, and as it gets more difficult, you won't have to learn this again. You'll know this part. You just have to learn what's next. You just have to learn what's new. You just have to learn the next part. And that really ain't so bad. Because your own responsibility ain't that bad.